D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished the latest episode of Hawkeye, season 1, episode 5. And I have to tell you right now, I love Yalana. She is just, I think she's my new favorite Avenger. Like, she is just great. And Florence Pugh, man, I liked her before she was in the MCU, but her in the MCU is just great. She's so fantastic. Yeah, and this episode, watching the MCU shows, I don't know how you feel about them, but I personally have not liked any of them except for this one. And I've said it before in my other breakdowns and everything. I think I just like it because it's a very like boots on the ground kind of show. Nobody has superpowers, like gosh, I love Yelena's Russian accent. It's so great. I love it. But I think that I don't know why I like this show as much as I do. Because like it's very like by the numbers, like, we figured out, Kate Bishop's mom is the bad baddie in this one. And it just, I don't know why I like it so much compared to the other ones. I just think the other ones, I just think they sucked like hardcore. Like, oh gosh, I can't go watch my reviews and stuff, but if you feel like it, but yeah, I just didn't like them. So this episode, though, was good. I liked it a lot. We got some information because this is the penultimate episode. We only have one more episode left, and I'll do a breakdown of that, and then I'll do a season finale, a season review. But I liked it. It's very not Clint Barton heavy because I get that because you're kind of like moving the mantle over to Kate Bishop, but they should have focused more on Clint Barton a little bit in at least one episode where it's just basically all him kind of thing. But I get it at the same time because they're moving on to new Avengers and everything, which I'm kind of bummed about that because I would have liked to have. I like the old Avengers, but I get it. Hey, and everything. And they're moving over to a more diverse group of Avengers, which didn't really do well in the comic books. So I'm curious to see how they do. I mean, if Eternals is any indication, it's not going to do that great. All right. So I'm going to stop yapping and I'll give you my thoughts on other things while we get into this and my favorite scene in this one while we do this. So why don't we go ahead but before I get started on this breakdown, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, they always get pushed to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, so now we're going to get started on breaking down this episode. So it starts off in this wintry wonderland. And Yelena and this other Black Widow are breaking into this house. They are getting in here. It's a very nice house. Everybody that's always got a big house and a nice house. Like look at that house. I mean, you can't really see the whole thing, but I'm so jealous. I mean, I'm thankful for the things I have, but I want nicer things. Anyways, so they come across a Black Widow that's undercover, or at least they think so. And a hallway fight breaks out. They get her, they fight her and everything, and they get her down on the ground and they spray that little stuff on her, and her face goes all glowy red like it did in Black Widow and everything. And then, but she's already been turned. She's not asleep with the nanites and everything, and she's all like, I still kill people for money. That's we've been trained to do that stuff. Why not start making some money off of it? And I got this really nice house out of it. So they're sitting there, they're just chit chatting, and she's like, "How is Natasha?" And she's like, "Natasha is really good and everything." And then she excuses herself to go to the bathroom, and then while she, and I love how they're talking about when she's leaving, she's like, "Oh, you guys could watch Sex and the City together and everything." I like Sex and the City. The new show is not that great. Anyways, okay, so she goes into the bathroom and she's sitting there and she's washing her hands / face, and she goes to put the water on her face and she gets dusted. And I was like, oh my gosh, Yelena got dusted. I was like, I was not expecting that. I was like, when this happened, I was like, oh, I literally did like an audible oh and everything, because I was like, man, I was like, it was very surprising. And then what I liked about this was also that it did, like, as soon as she dusted, she came back, and I was like, oh, that's so interesting, because if you remember in WandaVision, we got to see Monica Rambeau. We got to see her come back, but it's called the blip because it was just like that for these people. And I'm like, man, I'm really curious now to see other people's blips. It's like, I hope they keep doing this. I really do. I hope they keep doing these blip moments, or when they come back and everything, or when they did like they did in episode 1 with this one, where they showed Clint Barton, but from a different perspective of that attack on New York from Avengers. I really hope they keep doing this stuff. I personally like it. It makes me happy. And I feel like it just keeps this universe more interconnected. So I really hope they keep doing it. If they don't, I will be bummed, because I feel like it's such an easy thing to do to please us fans. And it's very cool. I think it's cool. I don't know if you think it's cool. You can leave comments down if you think that stuff is cool. But I personally, I love it. Like that scene with Clint Barton from Kate's perspective. That's one of my favorite scenes in this show so far. And it was the first scene in the show. Anyways, all right. So she comes out of the bathroom. She's like, "Who are you?" And the guy's like, "Who are you?" and everything. And the girl's still there. It's 5 years and she's still there. And she's all like, "Yalana?" And she's like, "Calm down. It's okay." And she's like, "You're gone." And she's like, "Oh," she's like, "Whereas I have to tell Natasha," and everything. And the girl knows that Natasha died, because everybody knows, the Avengers saved the world kind of thing. So then we're back in here. They had like this little recap thing, which I was like, why are you doing this? We know what happened. So Kate goes home and her mom's all like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, did Clint cause this or something like that? I can't remember exactly what she said. Now I have to say right now, Vera Farmiga, this is the only like scene she has in this show. But her acting, she pulled me right in there. As a parent, I was all like, yeah, you get in there and you hug your child. I was like, you get her, Vera Farmiga. I was like, she was selling it and I believed it. I was like, I'm buying it. I'm buying everything, because she was selling it. And her facial expressions, just top-notch actress. I'll tell you what, she's Hailee Steinfeld is great too, but I mean, like, she's no Vera Farmiga. Let's just be honest, okay? But she's great. I find Hailee Steinfeld very charming. I love her too. But anyways, so she's like, "No, Mom, we're done. He doesn't want anything to do with me. He told me to go away or go home or whatnot." And then she's, all set, and her mom is cleaning her up, doing the mom thing. I love these touching moments. Even though her mom is the bad guy, which we all saw it coming. I do like seeing parents being good parents, because even though she's a bad person, she's trying to be a good mom. So she's cleaning her up, and she sees a bow on the wall. She's like, "You remember you when you bought me that first bow?" And she's like, "I kind of regret it," and everything. And she's like, "I thought, I was a superhero. I thought Clint thought I was a superhero." And she's kind of lamenting and everything. And I can't remember what her mom says. Sorry, I didn't write it down. I wrote some other stuff down, but I didn't write this one down, which bums me out. But it was a good scene, good touching moment kind of thing. And Kate's all bummed because she wants to be an Avenger, but she's all feeling like, Bart sent me away, so I must not be that good kind of thing. I feel her on that. I'm with you, Kate. I'm with you, honeybee. So then Echo is getting cleaned up by this guy. Don't remember his name, but I know he becomes the clown. I think it's the clown. I don't know. Anyways, and she's all like, "It hurts." She's like, "There, I opened up," and everything. And she's like, somebody else was there. They were well trained. And he's all like, now he's like, "Now do you see what's going on?" And he's like, "This is just enough. It's too much," kind of thing. "We need to stop." So then Kate goes back to her apartment and everything, because it got burned down. And she's all bummed and everything. And the window is open. I can't remember if the window was closed before, but I'm like, it's burnt down, so what does it matter? Anyways, and Yelena, she's like popped up, and she's like, "Oh, finally you're here," or whatnot. And she throws the sriracha at her, and she catches, and he's like, "Hello," and everything. And she's like, "I was starving. You'll take so long. I was starving. I made mac and cheese. I made macaroni and everything." And she's all like, "You think I come to kill you? I'm not here to kill you. I'm just here to talk." She's like, "You have dinner with me?" And she's like, "Where a fork? She's like, "You only have one fork?" He's like, "I'm only one person." She's like, and then she picks up like a plastic fork, and she goes, she's like, we have dinner. And she's like, yeah, I know. Kate goes, I know what box mac and cheese tastes like. It's most delicious. I was like, mac and cheese is most delicious. I mean, first off, mac and cheese is my favorite food on the entire planet. I love mac and cheese. If you say you made mac and cheese, I'm going to be like, I want some. So good. Although don't tell me you make the best mac and cheese, because everybody says that. And every time I try it, I'm all like, well, it's not, I mean, it's good, but I mean, like, you made it sound like I was going to like cream in my pants as soon as I tasted it. And it's not that way. Anyways, and she's like, no cutlery. And she's like, you only have one fork. It's so weird. And everything. She's like, this is not cutlery. This is not cutlery and everything. I loved it. And she goes, you tried to kill me. And she's like, all right, I did not try to kill you. Okay. A, I put you on a wire to remove an obstacle. B, I did not break anything. And I am way too talented for that than that. Way too talented for that. And then she goes, and C, stop being so defensive. Okay. You're so hostile. And she's like, I'm not going to hurt you. I don't have any weapons on me. Okay, I take that back. I don't have any weapons currently in my hands. And then she's like, and then she looks at it. She's like, that's also a lie. That's a lie also. I was like, that's so funny. And so I love this character, and I love Florence Pugh. She is so charming. And everything that she's been in so far, I've loved her in. So she's great. I love Florence Pugh. I really hope that she like that she's just like the next in the next big Avengers movie. It's gonna be so great. Anyways, so she's like, sit down and have dinner with me. And she's like, if I want, she's like, if I wanted to kill you, yeah, I'd already be dead then. She's like, yeah, I would have killed you when you came in the door. And she's like, it wouldn't have closed before you would have killed me before the door even closed. He's like, yeah, and everything. So then Clint Barton goes to Grill's house, and he's all like, can I come in and everything? He's like, yeah. So then they're sitting there, and she's done eating, and she's like, you're done? Good. I can put hot sauce on it. I love hot sauce and everything. Sriracha is delicious. I love sriracha too. I can't handle it though. I get really bad heartburn and everything. I love spicy food, but I get that heartburn. I wish I didn't. It's super tremendous, delicious. So then she's sitting here and she's like, this is my first time in New York City, in New York and everything. It's a business trip, but I'm going to try to see some of the sites or something like that. And she goes, I want to see Empire State Building, and then new and improved Statue of Liberty, and then the Rockefeller Center, and everything. And it did give a reference to the Christmas tree from Spider-Man No Way Home, because it's got the big shield on it and everything. I don't like that, but what are you gonna do? It's the MCU. And she's like, yeah, the big tree and everything. And she's like, oh yeah, the big tree. I love American Christmases, the trees, the present, the superpowered reindeer, Rudolph. He's so weird. I love that. I love it. So good. Everything. She's like, that's so weird. Like with the one fork, so weird. And everything. And she's like, have you ever eaten reindeer? She's like, no, I haven't had the pleasure. She's like, it's not a pleasure. It's very tough and gamey. You have to let it sit you have to like smoke it or something. I don't remember what she said. But then she said, she's all like, she's like, Kate, and she kept calling her Kate Bishop. She's like, little Kate Bishop, you are so funny, Kate Bishop. And she's like, do you keep saying my full name to point out that you know it? And she's like, yes. She's like, I know a lot about you, Kate Bishop. And then she tells her a little bit more about herself and everything. And then they go on to talk a little bit about Bart. And she's like, I'm here to kill him. And then she says, she's like, why do you like him so much? And she's like, he saved the world. She's like, no, my sister saved the world. Stop pretending like you're surprised. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look cool. It does not look cool. I love that. Stop looking surprised. It does not look cool. I love that. I love how direct and honest she is, and everything. And then they're sitting here talking. Hold on, my computer froze. Okay, so they're sitting here talking, and she's like, she's talking about how Clint's a good man, and she's like, he's an Avenger, and she's like, you say this word like it makes everything better, and it erases the past and everything. And she's basically talking about his kill list and how he's not a good person, and she's here to do a job. And she's like, it's funny that you don't even know who the person is that hired you and everything. And she's like, how long have you known Clint Barton? And she's like, well, like a week and everything. So, and then she goes, thank you for this girls' night. Yeah, truly, and everything. And she gets up, she goes to leave, and she's like, oh, and Kate Bishop, don't get in my way again. And then in true Yelena fashion and Black Widow fashion, she has the best exits because she just drops out the window. I was like, man, Yelena, I love you, Yelena. My favorite part of this episode. She is the best. I hope she comes back. She was the best part of Black Widow when she was all like, why do you do the stunts? That whole thing. I loved it. Anyways, so then he's talking to Grills and he's can I crash on, can you take the dog for a minute? I'm going to get a hotel. And he's like, no, Hawkeye doesn't stay in a hotel. You can have my couch. And he's like, or you can have my bed. I'll sleep on the couch. He's like, no, your couch is fine. And then he falls asleep. So the next day they go, oh, I know what it was. When her and her mom was talking, they were talking about Jack. And she's like, Mom, Jack has a fake company. Solomon Soul. I can't remember what it was called. And he's all like, she's like, I looked into it. And he's all like, do not worry, I will be back for the Christmas party and everything. And I was all like, this guy is fantastic because I love how he's got this air of like, like nonchalantless. Like he's just like, oh, I'm just being arrested today. It's fine. It's fine, guys. I'll be back for the Christmas party and everything. I'm just like, this is so good. I love it. I love this actor too. He's so good. I don't like this look he's got going on with the white little thing and the mustache, but hey, whatever. I know I've got a mustache too. I'm trying to grow it out. I think it looks pretty good. Anyways, so they get taken away and look at that look on Vera Farmiga's face. Oh, that is a woman who is planning. She is planning and I love it. I love Vera Farmiga. I hope she stays in the MCU. Oh, God willing. Anyways, so Clint Barton's over here at this monument to the Avengers and how they saved New York and everything. And he's talking to Natasha. She's not there, but he's talking to her and he's all like, yeah, I really miss you. But he's like, I'm really sorry for what I'm about to do. And he goes off, which I'm all like, what he did is not that big a deal. Anyways, so she's all like, I'm not taking this crap. I'm not staying here and just not being all put on sidelines. F-bomb that. So she looks at her and she's like, she calls him. She's like, hey, you need to call me back because we need to do this, yada, yada, yada. Jack got arrested and everything. He's like, mailbox full, because she leaves all these messages, which is a little psycho, but whatever, it's fine. So then, I love these trust a bro. Hey, bro. They didn't do it the last episode with the car chase. At least I did. I don't think I heard bro too many times, but I love how they say bro. I love it. And so, and they're jamming out and everything. And these guys are great. I hope they stay in the MCU. Oh, I hope they come back in something else. This needs a season 2. It just needs one. I love it. Anyways, okay. So then they pull in and an arrow goes straight through the thing and it comes like this close to the dude or whatnot. And it's got a little message in there and read it. It's Maya, meet me at the place where you first saw Ronan and everything, something like that. And he's like, and the other guy's like, but we are not Maya. And I'm like, that's so funny. And so we get the Empire State Building with the lights and everything, because they do that every year and everything. I really do like Manhattan. It's I've only been there once and it was fantastic. I got to see the New Yorker, all that stuff. I went to Broadway, got to see some shows. Anyway, so he's going and he calls his wife and he's all like, yeah, they've got the watch. They know you, they've been tracking you guys. And she's like, but we've gotten so far away. And he's like, that's the thing. Nowhere is going to be far enough. He's like, I need to take care of this. And she's all like, well, you didn't call me for permission. So, follow your gut and do what you got to do. And it's very obvious that it's her watch, it's her watch. And I saw people online were saying that she's Mockingbird, which is cool. I mean, it was on that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, Mockingbird. So I'm pretty sure now that show's done for, like, as far as being a part of the MCU, which I just go like, but what about, Phil Coulson was on that show. And I'm just like, and he was definitely, it's like, whatever. Okay. So then he gets his stuff and so they're at the place where he killed her dad, which he really did kill her dad and everything. We find that out. And he takes out all these guys. Oh, one of the things was when one of these guys got taken out, he shoots himself in the foot and she does not get alerted to it. I literally said out loud, like, why doesn't Maya, how could Maya not hear that? And I go, oh, and then as soon as they go, I was like, oh, she's deaf. Duh. I was like, Matthew and everything. So anyways, So she's, firing, and then he comes out of the shadows, very cool, like, and they just start fighting. And he's losing to her, which I'm just like, listen, I get that she's training and everything, and she's a good fighter, but he got in some good hits, but I'm just like, I'm like, you're losing really badly to her. So then he's like, I wanted you to see my face. And he's like, listen, he's all like, basically, like, he's like, we're done. He's like, you come after me or my family again, this will be the last face that you see, and it will be the last thing that you ever do. And then he's all like, the night your dad died, I was tipped off by your boss, or I was tipped off by an informant, and it was your boss and everything. And the boss is, if you watch this episode, it's Kingpin, which we're going to find out later, which is so cool. But we kind of knew it was because we saw his hand in episode 3. So then she, takes him down a little bit, and then Kate fires an arrow at her to knock her gun out of her hand. And then he gets away, and they're both walking down this alley, and he's like, hey, do you have a getaway plan? And she calls an Uber, which I thought was great. And then so she meets up with this dude, and she's all like, he got away. He's like, so are we done now? And she's all like, where were you the night my father died? You're his second in command. Why weren't you there? And he's like, I know. He's like, I don't know. I didn't get the call. He's like, what is this and everything? And she's like, nothing. She goes away. So she knows what's doing. And she is not happy. So then they're driving. I can't remember what they talk about here. Sorry, guys. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I should have wrote it down, but whatever. So they get out, and Vera Farmiga is walking down the street, and she's being followed by Yalana. Ooh, Yalana. She looks great here. I love Florence Pugh. Gosh, I really, really hope. I can't wait to see her again. I can't wait to see where we're going to see her next. It's going to be so good. So then she's all checking stuff out. So then they're back at Grill's apartment, and they're doing a little dancey move with the dog. I can do that with my dog. So cute. And she gets a text, and the look on her face, and she's like, I know. She gets it from Yelena. She's like, I know. I figured out who hired me, Eleanor Bishop, and everything. I'm saying in the Russian accent, but she didn't say it like out loud. Like they didn't do a voiceover or anything. I'm just doing it like that. It's fine. And then she sends her a picture, and like, oh, and Hailee Steinfeld, good act. Look at her facial expression. So good. So good. So she hands it, and she's all like, who is that with my mom? And he's all like, this was the person I was worried about. It's Kingpin. And then we see Eleanor Bishop with Kingpin from Daredevil on Netflix. And I'm really happy that they brought him back, because he did such a great job playing Kingpin. And it's going to be so good to see him in the last episode and see what they do there. I'm really curious. And that's where the episode ends. I'm really curious to see where they go in the last episode. Like, what is the end game of this TV show / this season? I'm really excited to see where they go from here. I just want more Yelena, though. I'll tell you that. And but I really do. I know it's not Clint Barton centric, and I know that the MCU is trying to turn it over to more female centric. I don't know if that's 100% the best choice, just because like I said before, if you go back to like 2016, 17, maybe in 18, maybe if you go back a little ways, they tried to revamp the MCU and do a lot more representation as far as gender and sexuality, and it didn't work out, you guys. And I can tell you right now, as a comic book reader, it sucked. I bailed at a lot of stuff. Ms. Marvel, I was like, I can't relate to this, and her powers sucked. But they're doing it different in the MCU, so we'll see how that works out. I will probably watch it. But then you had Ironheart, that sucked. They all sucked. They weren't good. And so I'm just curious as to if we're going that direction, how are people going to feel about it? Because Eternals was freaking awful. If you liked Eternals, I don't get you, but that by all means have at it. I'm happy that you did like it, but yeah, I don't see this stuff happening. But whatever. I'm hopeful for the future of the MCU, and I hope it's good. All right. Sorry about that little rant right there. Anyways, so tell me, what did you guys think about this episode of Hawkeye? Are you enjoying this show as much as I am? Do you love Yelena as much as I do now? I think she's my favorite Avenger now. I think for this new team, I think she's my favorite. I know a lot of people like Wanda, and a lot of people like Spider-Man, but I think I like you, Yelena. She's so great. She makes me happy. Like I laughed audibly out loud a lot of the times in this episode because of her. So, all right. Tell me what you guys thought. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my final breakdown review of Hawkeye. You guys have a good week. Bye.